it's Vincent here with,
RJ.
and this is the start of a new series in which we'll be telling you how to code in Python.
Python is an open source scripting language designed mainly for ease of use with new programmers, and so that's why we're going to start with that language.
Now, in the first part, we'll be giving you an introduction and some of the basic inbuilt functions that come with Python.
And we're going to start with an old classic, which is the Hello World program, which is most likely the first thing you're going to program in any language you learn.
Yeah, that's just tradition, really. So let's open the interpreter, which is what you code with in Python, and we'll get started.
Okay, so we're here in the interpreter, and we're going to get started with Hello World, and I'm going to type a line of code and execute it, and we'll explain what it does after, okay? Okay, so this is a Hello World program, and it's the first thing we're going to start with. You can probably guess from the name of the function, which is print, that it's going to print something to the screen.
Okay, every function in Python needs an argument. You can see here in the parentheses, and that's where we put the argument.
The argument is the thing you want the function to handle, or you want it to use. In this case, the argument is hello world, which is the thing we want the function to print.
Yeah, and as RJ said before, print just displays something on the screen.
The reason the text is in quotes is because Python needs to know something Python needs to know that something is text, so
Yeah.
that it knows what to do with it.
And we're gonna now show you another function that will come with Python.
Okay, input.
Yeah.
Okay, so input. We'll need variables.
No, we'll just show them what it does first.
Okay, so this is a function called input, and we have a prompt here. So what should we ask?
We'll ask someone what their name is.
Okay, so what is your name? And I'm going to leave a space here, and you'll see why afterwards. Okay, and
Now, it's gonna ask us what our name is because that's what we typed in as the argument. Now, the reason we left a space was because if we didn't, the person who was typing in the name would have to do the space himself.
because that's what natural English looks like. There's supposed to be a space between the question and the answer.
Yeah.
But let's see, I'll just type my name in here, and there you go, like this.
So what the input function does is it basically the first argument is what's the prompt, and then whatever you type in will be returned.
And this is what happens if we ask the question without the space. What is your name? If someone were to type this, what most people would naturally do is add a space and then type their name. But that would cause, because you type the space, what the function returns then includes the space.
Yeah. So what we're going to do next? Variables?
Yeah, let's do variables. Okay, so a variable is like a container. It holds a value. And so if I take a variable, and variables can be called whatever you want, including letters, numbers, or underscores,
Yeah.
but you can't start them with a number or an underscore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a variable called name, and I'm going to set it to a string containing my name.
Yeah.
And then if I run the variable instead of the string through the function, it will print the value.
So this shows that you can put a variable inside a function. So I'm just going to clarify what a variable actually is. It's basically it carries the data that you put inside it. The variable doesn't have anything to do with the data it holds. It can be anything you call it, really.
Yeah, so the name of the variable is up to you. One thing we can use variables for is handling what a function will return. So if I restate the name variable, and this will override the previous value and give it a new one,
Yeah.
and I make that the input function, and I ask for someone's name, with a space, of course.
So we said before that input would return whatever you typed in. So if we store it in a variable, whatever you type in will be equal to name.
So if I do that, and you care to go ahead and ask the question? There you go. And because we are in the interpreter, whenever you type the name of a variable, it will return its value. But if you were in a normal program, you'd have to print out the value for it to show. So if we print the name, you can see that it's been set to what the input function would have returned.
So what are variables used for? Well, one of them is if your data is really long, like a long sentence, then if you just give it a short variable name, then you only have to use that to refer to it.
Okay, so if I make a variable called sentence, sentence, I make it equal to play pick of pickled rose. I don't even know if that's right, but there you go. Oh, it's a peck, isn't it? Oh well, sentence like that. Instead of having to, if I wanted to print this out several times,
Yeah,
instead of having to type it every time, I could simply just print sentence.
yeah. And there you see it. It just returns whatever we put in sentence.
If we couldn't put that sentence in a variable, we'd have to type it out every time we wanted to print it,
Yeah.
which is very time consuming.
Another thing that you're probably gonna use in programming is some maths, and we will show you what you can do with maths in Python now.
Okay, so we could store the numbers we're going to use in variables, but we're just going to show them so you can see exactly what's happening. So you have your standard addition, 2 plus 3 with the plus symbol, which is shift and the equals key next to the backspace on a QWERTY keyboard, and it will return 5.
Yeah, you can do times.
If I do 2 times 3, which is of course 6, times is the asterisk, which is shift and 8 on most keyboards. 6.
Take away.
We can do subtraction. 2 minus 3, which should return minus 1. There you
Yeah,
go.
and divide.
And 2 over 2 over 3. That's the forward slash for division.
Yeah,
Oops. There you go. 0.6 recurring.
there we go. Now, another thing you can, well, these are just the simple operators, but there's an actual module called math, and you can do some more complicated stuff with that. So, should we show the math?
Yeah, I suppose we could. Oh wait, we forgot one. We missed modulo.
Oh yeah. Now, this is, you might not use this, but it's very useful. Something called modulo. And basically, it will divide the number you've put in, then give the remainder.
So let's say we do 2 over 3, we get zero point 0.6. But if we do 2 modulo 3, we'll get 1 because 2 goes into 2, sorry. Because 2 goes into 3 once,
Yeah,
and there's a remainder of 2.
yeah. Um, Now, what else shall we...
Oh no, hold on.
Wait, no, that was the ampersand.
There you go. It should
Yeah,
return 1 if
yeah.
I did in fact get it right. So, so the math module.
Yeah.
Now, modules are like, well, Python's very resourceful. It only opens with a set amount of things. And if you
So,
want
a
to,
module is basically, it has loads of functions in it that Python doesn't come with inbuilt.
okay, so if we import, we have to import each function, and to use it, you have to know the name of the function
And spell input
and
correctly.
spell import
Math.
math. So we have to import the math. Oops. And there you go, evidence that Python is case sensitive. It's math with a small m, not a
Yeah.
large. I'm thinking of Ruby there. So, what's the first one we should do?
We'll show them what math has.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So if you type help, the function, and then pass, put the name of
a module in it.
it's the function, it will show you the name math description. Module is always available. It provides access to the mathematical functions.
Yeah.
And then it has a list of functions in alphabetical order. And you have trigonometry up here and ceiling. This is a very simple one. Uh, Ceiling will round up,
Yeah.
basically. In basic math, and the way you've probably learned in secondary school or primary school, I guess as well.
Yeah.
Uh, if something is 5 or above, you round up, and otherwise
Yeah.
you round down. But ceil will round up regardless, and floor will do the opposite. Even if it's 2.9, it will round down to 2.
And it's got pi here. So I think, if I'm correct,
I think you are.
yep.
Math.pi is stored as this value.
Now because pi is within math, you have to do dot.
That shows that you're trying to use the pi variable from the math function.
Yeah. What else have we got? We've got tan square root.
Let's do square root.
Okay.
Okay, so we can't just do this. Let's see, square root of 169 is 13, but there's no square root function
Exactly.
just in Python. So what we have to do is specify that we want the square root function from the math module.
Exactly.
So if we do that, we should get 13.0.
Yeah. What else can we do? We can tan.
Done? Okay,
So
go ahead.
if you're good at maths, you should.
Know your trigonometry?
Yep. So I ask you, what is tan 45? You should know that. No, it's math. 90 I was thinking of.
That's 90.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was not.
But there you go.
There you go. That's the tan function from
Yeah.
your tangent from trigonometry.
Yeah. Loads of cool stuff in here, like sine, radians.
Oh, power. Now, there are two ways to show powers in Python. You can either do, we like powers of 2, right?
Yeah.
So let's do 2 to the power, which is 2 asterisks. Asterisks? 2 to the power 8, which is 256. But what we can also do is use the power function from the math module and do 2 to the power 8. And if there's more than one argument for a function, they have to be separated by a comma.
Yeah.
Like that, and it will return 256.0.
Exactly. So, is there anything else you want to show these guys?
No, I think that's pretty good for an intro.
Yep. So make sure you stay tuned for the next part.
Well, I think we're going to cover data types and variables kind of in more
More detail. Exactly.
Explain data types.
So that's going to be the end of the introduction to Python.
That's bye from us,
Make sure to like and subscribe.
obviously.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye.